this is Andrea, and today I'm making chicken stew. Chicken stew is a delicious recipe that I discovered when I lived in South Carolina. Every single family and every restaurant has their own version, but today I'm sharing my favorite version. And as always, I'll make sure to leave the recipe in the description box. You are going to need a whole chicken or about 3 pounds of chicken pieces. We prefer dark meat, so I have 3 pounds of chicken legs. You're also going to need a medium or large onion. I'm using frozen, so this is about a cup of diced onion. You're going to need 1 stick of unsalted butter, some bouillon, which is totally optional. If you prefer salt and pepper instead, that's fine. You're going to need a can of sweet corn, 2 cans of evaporated milk, and 2 medium-sized potatoes. Okay, so I've already washed my chicken and I put it in a large pot, and I'm adding about 6 cups of water. Next, I'm adding my bouillon, and I'm adding about 4 teaspoons of bouillon. Like I said, you could add salt if you'd prefer. And I'm just going to give it a good stir, bring it to a boil, and let it cook for about 40-45 minutes or until that chicken is done. Okay, so it's been about an hour and my chicken is done, and I'm just carefully removing it from the pot, and then I'm just going to pull that meat off the bone. Okay, so I have all of the meat off the bones, and here are the leftovers. And then I use this strainer to skim the impurities off of that chicken broth. So I have 4 cups of chicken broth left. If you'll remember, I started off with 6 cups. And then I went ahead and just diced up my potatoes to get them ready for the stew. Okay, so now it's time to put everything together. So I'm just adding in my chicken, my potatoes, my onions, a can of drained corn, my cans of milk, my stick of butter, excuse me, and I'm using unsalted, but you can use salted if you'd like. And then I'm adding in my chicken broth. And that stick of butter is just going to add some richness to that soup. You do not want to use margarine in this recipe. And you're just going to let this simmer until those potatoes are nice and tender. Okay, so this stew has been going for about an hour. Those potatoes are nice and tender. I did add some additional salt. I added about 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and then I also added some white pepper as well. My husband's not a big fan of black pepper, and white pepper gives it that peppery taste, but you don't have those black pepper flakes throughout the soup. So I'm gonna get this plated up and show you how it turned out. Okay, so here is the chicken stew all plated up. This is such a comforting and hearty meal. You can serve it with some saltines or just by itself, and it's absolutely delicious. One thing I wanted to mention is that even though this is called chicken stew, it's really thin like a soup, but they call it chicken stew in South Carolina, and that's what I call it too. I hope you all enjoyed this quick and easy recipe. If you did, please make sure to give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, we'd certainly love to have you. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.